Hello everyone. Today I want to look at a game between Fabiano Caruana, who was rated 2801 at the time, with the white pieces against Magnus Carlsen, world champion, who was rated 2877 at the time. Game took place at the 41st Chess Olympiad in 2014. And the reason why I picked this game is because of the interesting opening choice by Magnus Carlsen in the classical game. So Caruana started out with e4, as you can see, and Carlsen played the move d5. The old name for this move used to be the center counter defense, but now is more popularly known as the Scandinavian. And um, people have gone as far to say the opening is unsound because Black winds up losing time, having the queen chased around after knight c3 and so forth, and even after knight f6, that eventually Black loses time. Let's say after d4 and say for instance move like e6 and then c4, chasing the piece away from the center. These are like old-fashioned classical arguments. And again, I just want to clarify that I'm not a proponent of the Scandinavian, but I'm not one of those that would say it's bad, especially if you rate it below 2,500. It's definitely a popular opening at lower levels, and right now it's not popular at the top levels. But you can see in this game, the highest rated player of all time is actually playing this game in a serious game in the Olympiad. Um, and I want to also add that some strong grandmasters have played this opening as part of their repertoire. One that comes to mind is Sergei Tivyakov, who has actually put extensive theoretical research into this opening. And if you're interested in playing it, you should look at his games or check out his DVD. Um, what are the merits for Black? Well, one thing is Black can control the opening. Black has a lot of say what's going to go on because he's attacking the e pawn right away. So he's able to steer the game into channels that he's often familiar with. Okay, more so than his opponent. Okay, and by doing so, he can deny White the opportunity of just transposing into certain attacking variations. Um, so he has a lot of control in the opening. The development is for Black is pretty easy. Also, getting his pieces out. Um, I think one of the drawbacks for Black is that and what turns off a lot of grandmasters is not necessarily that it's bad, but it's hard to win um, with some of the positions that Black gets. So Black might equalize, but he really doesn't have any um, winning opportunities in many games. All right, but I definitely think that Scandinavian defense is definitely has taken a bad rap, and it's not as bad as some people would think it is. So anyway, let's get on with our game. I just want to let you know also that I am going to make another video. It's going to be a compilation video, and I'm going to be looking at all of Magnus Carlsen's games where he played the Scandinavian defense. Of course, I'll leave this one out because I'm gonna do it right now. But this was a nice game, so I wanted to put a little time into this one. So e takes d5, my Caruana, and now queen takes d5. And here we see the classical response, knight c3, attacking the queen. And there's of course several responses here. Queen a5 can be played. There's also queen d6, which I believe is preferred by Tivyakov. And then we get this um, rarefied move, queen d8. So white just simply gained a full uh, tempi. Basically, it's almost um, as if black is giving white move odds, so to speak, right? Because all of black's pieces are at their starting position, and white has a chance to move again, so he can play a very strong move here. Knight f3, for example, d4, for example. Okay, so Caruana does exactly that. He plays the strongest move on the board, probably in d4. Knight f6, knight f3, and now Carlsen plays the move bishop g4, h3, bishop takes, and queen takes. Um, Black loses the bishop here, and now this pawn is attacked with tempi, and white has a nice lead in development here. Carlsen plays c6. Now he can't. Well, he can, of course. It's a legal move, but it's a bad move. If he plays queen takes d4, he loses immediately to queen takes b7. All right, and this rook is going to fall. So he has to protect b7 with a c6 first. Um, Here, of course, you have to say that white is a bit better due to his space advantage in the center and his lead in development and his possession of the two bishops. Okay, but you'll see as we go on that black is very solid. He goes into this Caroslav structure with e6, and it's the onus is on white to prove the merits of him having this lead in development. So after c6 is played here, Caruana plays knight e2, which is not too aggressive. Um, Perhaps better was just to continue development with a move like bishop e3, right? Takes care of this pawn in the center, and perhaps you could even plan on castling queenside at some point. And if you don't want to do that, at least this pawn is protected. And then perhaps move the queen to g3 later on, putting more pressure on the queen side. So I don't really like this move, knight e2. Yes, it protects the pawn, but now this bishop is blocked in. Okay, but Caruana has a plan to play the g pawn forward and then Fianchetto's bishop. But again, it seems kind of slow, and I think that with the lead and development, he should uh, keep making these simple moves to get his pieces out. So definitely bishop e3, protecting the pawn and getting a piece out as quick as possible. So for example, I like the variation, for instance, bishop e3, e6, bishop d3, let's say bishop d6, and then maybe castle queen side, or play it safe and castle on the king side. All right, just quick, rapid development here. So knight e2 is played, e6, g4, and to me this gives black the time, basically the time back that he lost early in the opening. And at this point, I believe that black is pretty much almost equalized here. Queen d5, offering exchange of queens. Bishop g2, knight bd7, now queen g3. Queen c4 is a good move. One, Caruana can't castle, and this pawn is attacked. So let us say, for the record, black is already equalized. White did not take his gift in the opening seriously, and now black is just basically caught up in development. Notice how black has two pieces developed, now white has two pieces developed, and black's pawn structure is slightly better. All white has to show for his early advantage in the opening is the space in the center, and we can see basically that that's going to be the next point of concern for Magnus Carlsen to deal with. So after queen c4, how do you protect the pawn? Offer a trade of queens. Queen takes b3, a takes b3. All right, so we can see here this typical Caroslav structure where black just occupies the first three ranks, His position is very solid, but he's has a space disadvantage which he has to deal with. But in exchange for that, um, he has a better pawn structure. Easy development, bishop d6, c4. So here is Caruana trying to utilize his nice space advantage to basically squeeze black here. a6, bishop e3, castles queenside for both players, rook he8, and knight g3, and now knight f8. And this knight wants to go to g6 here. Bishop f3. Again, I feel like Caruana is just not putting enough pressure in the position. Why not a move like g5? Yeah. Right? Drive the pieces away. Instead, this move, bishop f3, and the idea is to protect this pawn so he can play h4, right? But if you have that idea, why not just play g5? Where's this knight gonna go? It can't go there, it can't go there. Okay, the knight can go here, right? Where it has to you know, uh, reroute itself, or here. Both like kind of suspect locations. Then you can just play h4 here, right? Or if you want, you can attack this pawn by playing knight h5. To me, that's what white should be doing is seeking more activity. So instead, knight g3, knight f8, and then bishop f3. Okay, black just simply continues on with this plan. h4, and now bishop f4. And you can see that black has all kind of counterplay here. Bishop takes, f takes, and now knight e7, e4. Again, trying to just crush black with the space. h6, e5, knight h7. Problem is that this knight has a place to go. Knight e4, and of course Caruana is headed for this square. Rook f e8, avoiding the fork. Knight d6 check. King c7. So now the game is going to revolve around the this knight here on d6. If that knight can really stay there, then it's a really powerful piece. But if it's proven to be unstable, then this will work out for black. So this is going to be the next battle right here. So bishop g2 again. Not to me, not really. Again, being active enough. But the idea, of course, is just to bring piece to the f file. So bishop g2, and then bring a piece over to attack down on f7. So instead of that, I like this move because this rook right here is not really doing nothing. The job is done on the h file. Nothing going on. So bring this rook over. Keep this rook on the d file so you can be ready to make that break. You bring this rook here, and then you bring this piece back to h1. So instead, after bishop g2, knight d5. So now with the knight coming to a good square, this square is protected. And now rook hf1. And so just simply f6, dealing with the problem and also undermining the authority of this knight here. King c2, f takes, d takes, and now knight c8, again challenging this point right here. Now c5, again the battle is going to revolve around whether this knight can stay here. So we have Carlsen trying to undermine it. Knight e7, of course, ready to hop in this square. b4, and now knight d5. And so, of course, this is threatened. That was the weakness of b4, is it basically forces uh, Caruana's hand there. So instead of that, maybe bishop h1 here, or even a move like king d3. Because after b4, knight d5, it's hard to protect this pawn properly. If move like king b3, then you got knight e4. I'm sorry, knight e3 with the fork, or here. Okay, this is all good for black. So it kind of forced the exchange of this bishop. So c takes, and now b5. Carlsen took. Knight comes back, but again, notice how Carlsen is pressuring the pawns. Right, this pawn is isolated. This pawn is being attacked. Now here, king takes c5 is no good because of the fork here. So Carlsen first plays the move knight f3, right, undermining the knight, right, attacking this pawn. So b4, and now rook a8. Again, knight takes e5, then just simply rook fe1, attacking the knight here. And then, let's say, knight f3, then just simply rook takes e6 is excellent. Of course, you could play rook f2 check here. But this will probably end in some kind of a draw situation. It's king d4, knight takes d4, rook takes e6, and so on. So this is why Carlsen took over the a file and played rook a8. There's no adequate way to protect this pawn, so there's no reason for Magnus to rush and take it. Caruana is practically compelled to defend the a file, right? The rook can't be allowed to penetrate like that. So rook takes, and now he takes. Knight takes e5, and now rook a7. Desperately seeking for counterplay. If rook e1, then just simply knight f3, and then it doesn't work here because you got this fork. Knight d4 check. So instead, rook a7, rook b8, rook a3, and now b6, again undermining this knight here. Rook a7, b takes, rook a6, king c7. So black has almost accomplished the job of undermining this knight fully. B takes e5, knight d7, rook a7, king c6, g5. Finally, knight takes c5 and the pawn drops. The knight has to move. d4, knight e5 check. King d5, knight d7, d3, king c1, knight takes, rook takes, and king e4. And Fabiano Caruana had to resign. There's no way to stop those that pawn from queening. Or at least one of these pawns from queenie. So very interesting game played by Magnus. Again, very strong player. But even a great player like Caruana was not able to really deal with Magnus Carlsen even after basically being given pawn odds. I'm sorry, not pawn odds, but move odds in the opening, because this position right here should be a clear enough advantage for white, especially not only to get initiative later in the game, but he definitely should not lose, uh, from this position, especially after here. But I think that it started just by Carlsen playing. I'm sorry, Caruana playing just too passively. Especially with this move, 92 at the beginning. This idea, and it just allowed Black to just easily catch up. Because the thing is in these type of positions where Black is behind in development, but has a super solid structure, that's really all you have. If you can't develop an initiative and exploit that lead in development, the game is going to be equal because the pawn structure is pristine on Black's end. So you have no real structural weaknesses to go after. All you can do is rely on your space advantage and your leading development to try to develop. These are temporary advantages that, well, not necessarily the space advantage. That can be a more permanent static advantage, but a leading development is a temporary advantage that you have to do something with that. And if you can't do nothing with that, then all you're left with is your space advantage, and you might be able to do something with that. However, in this game, Magnus Carlsen, um, of course, with help from Caruana and playing a bit passively, was able to, um, first of all, neutralize the lead in development. That was taken away first. So that was the first thing that was dealt with, as you can see from this position right here. Okay, if anything, Black has now a slight lead in development. The second issue that he had to contend with was Caruana's space advantage, which he dealt with in an effective manner. And that culminated in the battle over the d6 square. See right here, it looks intimidating, but Carlsen understood that these pawns, right, can be, you know, can also be turned into a liability for white, and this is what wind up happening. Carlsen goes on a counterattack, and he starts undermining the huge center, as we were taught to do. He starts undermining this pillar of the white position. And once he did that, once he was successful in undermining that knight on d6, then it was over. So, fantastic game by Carlsen. I hope you enjoyed that. Very simple game. But again, I wanted to show you that game in the Scandinavian because people are quick, especially at chess clubs, to put down an opening or say, "Oh, you shouldn't play that. That's unsound," and this and that. And that's all hogwash. Like, listen, if you're below 2,500, you can play any opening that you want. If it's fun to play, you like how it feels, by all means play it. Or if somebody tells you something is unsound, that you enjoy playing it, hey, ask them to prove it to you. Sit down, put your money where your mouth is, set the pieces up, and let them show you that it's unsound. Let them beat it out of you. That's what I used to like to do. Beat it out of me. Oh, you think I shouldn't be playing the Latvian counter game? Okay, beat me then. Beat it out of me where I don't want to play it anymore. Okay, so have fun. You can play these type of openings, especially at amateur level. You can see, like, even now and then, every now and then, a strong grandmaster like Carlsen will bring out the opening, because again, a lot of that the theoretical, um, what was I gonna say? Like, a lot of the theoretical uh, ratings and things like that change from year to year, and who's playing it. If you get a real strong player and they start looking deep into an opening, next thing you know, that variation becomes all the rage. Think of the London system, for example, right? London system was like a big deal like 2 years ago, right? before that, nobody was playing the London system except in the clubs, in the amateur clubs, right? Why did people start playing the London system? All of a sudden, they saw Kamsky, you know, like starting to beat, beating grandmasters with the London system. Did anything really change about the London system that much? No, not really. It was always been around. It just wasn't, a preference of top players. So once people started seeing top player actually being successful with this, oh, let's play the London system. Right? Now you don't see it as much, but still, same thing with the move 1B3, right? Jobava. Nobody was playing the Nimzovich attack 1B3. Like, what? That's unsound. There's one guy decided, hey, I'm gonna play this, and happen to be a strong player, and next thing you know, people are playing it. So, um, and Scandinavian to me is one of those openings. It's like if you get a strong enough player playing it, um, you know, it's you can win at times, and this is a perfect example. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Please uh hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the definitely the like button so that the video can move up in the algorithms on YouTube. Check the links below for videos related to this opening. And also, please donate to my channel. I appreciate it very much. And I'll see you guys soon on the next video and look forward to hearing from you in the comments section. Thank you.